Welcome to Grant's Rock Warehouse, and this morning we are live. We are taking a look at rock candy CD releases. You like physical media, this is your show. Pete Pardo and Brendon Snyder are here. We want to hear from you in the chat. Let's get this going.
Grant is changing the world one track at a time on Grant's Rock Warehouse.
Damn it, Pete, we might be changing people's lives more than two tracks. We might be changing people's lives by stacks.
By stacks and stacks and more stacks. Grant, I don't even know which stack to grab. I got one right here. I got three over here. One's 5 times the size of the other, and I didn't even grab all of them.
So, ladies and gentlemen, Brendon Snyder, we're waiting for Brendon to be here, but Pete Pardo is here. We're going to get started anyway. We will bring Brendon in as we go because we don't want to keep our public waiting, for God's sakes. We're talking rock candy releases, and Pete and I don't have anything to do with rock candy, but we've got it bad. That's all I can say. And we love this label and what they reissue because, well, I can speak for Pete on this. We love these bands. We do. These bands that put out something in 1978, they never took off, but labels like Rock Candy does such nice, wonderful jobs and treats these bands just like they were, Led Zeppelin.
They give them the royal treatment is what they do.
So I brought in two people, Mr. Pete Pardo, Mr. Brendon Snyder. Hopefully Brendon gets here. I don't know what he's doing. He might be irrigating his water pick. I'm not exactly sure, but he's supposed to be here. But Pete and I can get started. Anyway, just to give everybody a brief intro, I guess, of Rock Candy. They're a UK-based independent record label that was founded in 2005 by two Kerrang writers, Derek Oliver and Dante Benuto. So, and as we just said, high quality CD reissues of bands, a lot of bands that, well, maybe some of their catalogs out of print. I know they redid the Rat catalog and all that, but I've got all that stuff already. But, for people that don't, they do. So anyway,
if you have it, you can buy it again.
What's that?
I said, or if you have it, you can buy it again, right?
Exactly. Well, we were just talking about that. So they originally started the label 2005 and they brought the magazine out later. So, but anyway, so we were talking, oh my God, the chat is
going crazy.
The chat is going crazy.
Gary, Kiefer, Dante, Webb, Lynn, what's going on?
Lynn's making an appearance. Look at
Lynn,
that.
This one's for you, my dear.
Oh, I've got that too.
Here we go. Actually, no, hold on. She likes this one more. So,
yeah. So, the Parish of Rock. Oh, young Logan is here. Grant has a rock candy problem. Well, so does Pete. Come on. What are you talking about? I love it. Anyway, we're going to start talking about stuff. I figure you've probably picked some stuff that some of these reissues that you really like a lot, because we were talking about maybe doing our top 5, keeping it loose. I want it to be like people are hanging out talking. We've got all of our friends in the comments section. We're just here talking music and turning people on. Oh, Lynn says you have problems. All right.
Be nice,
figured
Lynn.
that.
Jeez.
Be nice, Lynn. Come on, we're live. Anyway, so is there anything you'd like to start out with, Pete, since you're my only guest?
Well, I mean, what's really cool about this label for me of late, and Lynn is right, I got problems because I've been ordering way too much of this shit of late, but it's been really cool getting into bands that I've always known about but never really went out and investigated their catalogs. And then I see, Rock Candy's got some great reissues, so let me go investigate. So the band Axe is one I want to mention. So I've always known about Axe, never listened to any of their music. Of course, I remember that big song. Well, I don't even know if it was big, but they had, a couple fairly notable songs at one point that they played on the radio all the time. And I'm struggling to think of the name of the one of them right now. But anyway, Rock and Roll Party in the Streets. That's the song I was thinking of. I remember totally being into that song back a million years ago, 40 years ago, whatever it was. But just never buying the band's albums or anything like that. And then when I found out that Rock Candy had these lovely looking reissues, and I'm like, you know what? Now's the time to investigate that band. So, and I'm happy I have, because they're really cool. They're from the South, but they're not a Southern rock sounding band. So pretty cool stuff. So investigating that. I mean, I've got the Grand Prix reissues that they did. of course,
Yeah.
Robin McCauley. Hello, right? Played with Michael Schenker and did a lot of solo stuff. And of course, a couple of guys who would later go on to be in Uriah Heep, right? So there's a very young Bernie Shaw from Uriah Heep and Phil Lanzon. Where is he with the mustache, right? So I never bought any of this stuff back in the day. So now here, all these eons later, I can investigate these bands that I always knew about but never really listened to, and you get remastered sound, you get these great booklets, and all of a sudden I'm discovering new bands, old bands that are new to me today, and that's a good thing, I think.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I've got we were just talking before. I've even got like 7. I haven't even opened this yet, Pete. Um, but I went through and I figured we could just pick out some stuff that we really like to get started. So, I don't know, is there something do you have your top 5? Do you have a top 5? I mean, there
Well,
has to be
I
something
can do
that you
one on the
bought.
spot. How does that sound? You want me to do it on the spot? I can do it on the spot.
100%, I like it.
All
Give
right.
me one and we'll go back and forth until,
All right, so here we
Mr.
go. I'm going to
Snyder
do it on the spot just for you, Grant. I got to throw Riot in here. I'm going to pick Narita. I think this is a terrific reissue of theirs. There's no bonus tracks, but it sounds great, and it's just got a great booklet. I love the album. Anyway, I'm going to go because it's probably been one of my main obsessions over the last couple of months. This is a band I've always liked, but I just found a renewed interest in them. I just showed it before. I absolutely adore Zebra, and I have been listening to their debut album nonstop of late. That's got to be one of them. Let's pull out Icon Night of the Crime.
Yeah,
Killer band.
somewhere.
Had this on LP back in the day, and it's just such a great melodic rock album, and it just sounds spectacular here on this reissue. And I literally just got this the other day. The first Fastway album, and it's got like 3-4 live tracks and 3 non-album bonus tracks. We love that, right? We love the non-album bonus tracks. All right, what else can I pull from here? Let's go with, you know what? We talked about it on another show recently, but I'm going to go with the Barry Goodrow.
You can bring it up. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, got to go with this. Because again, this is something that I never had back in the day, and I love Boston so much, and I always wish that he would have stuck around in the band. And yeah, it's the unknown Boston album.
Well,
It's basically the band without Tom, pretty much.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, in our green room here in the warehouse, Mr. Brendon Snyder. Let's bring him in. He can hear me say this because he's smiling, but he's just backstage. In fact, I might just leave him backstage for a while. Just let him stir around and maybe he'll come on. Let's bring him in. Mr. Snyder. Oh, I got to fix a shot. Hold on.
Hey, everyone.
Brendon Snyder, come on, man. Where have you been?
Delay, guys. Yeah, my computer was outdated and I had to do some updates.
All right, cool. Well, we started without you.
Yeah, no, that's okay. I know. I totally forgot this was a live show, so I was not thinking needing to jump on early for it, and I apologize to everyone.
No, it's okay. I just like giving you crap. But to be honest, I'm glad you're here because Pete and I were we could be just fine, but it's always nice to have someone else here so we can bounce off of. So to get you up to date, we just kind of went over Pete was just throwing stuff out that he likes. Which he could probably do the whole show on that, but
yeah, right.
He was just mentioning the Barry Goudreau.
I have enough sitting here, trust me.
I do. Brendon, I pulled.
You love it.
I pulled everything that I've got way more than this, but I pulled everything out just in case.
I almost did. I mean, I've got 2 boxes worth. Each box has 90, so over 180 Rock Candy Records CDs, but I did just pull 6.
That's fine. I got a shitload. I have to put all this crap back. Idiot. I'm an idiot. But, it's fun. Anyway, so Pete was talking about Barry Goudreau. Is there anything else you wanted to bring up, Pete, while you were... Or should I throw it over to Mr. Snyder? Because he's got some picks.
Before you do, how about Paris?
I've got that.
Right. Oh, yeah. Kind of a cool super group. Bob Welch from Fleetwood Mac and Glenn Cornick from Jethro Tull. Great stuff. Anyway, I'll stop.
It doesn't, but you know what? That Paris CD, I've got that too. It does not sound, if you think that it's going to sound like Fleetwood Mac, It
Oh,
does
not at
not.
all.
Not at
heavy.
all. It's
Heavy.
heavy.
Yeah, hell yeah.
And they put out 2 albums. But I think there's only the one on Rock Candy. Am I correct? I think.
Yeah,
I
there's
don't know
only
if the other
Yeah.
Prog Corner streaming on
one
both channels.
Japanese edition of the other one.
Prog Scott, come on. Of course we're streaming on both channels. What are you talking about? We're professionals, for goodness
Modern
sake.
technology.
Modern technology. And Brendon, you could stream too. I was hoping you'd get here so you could set your stream up.
Yeah, next time. I'm a little
Alright.
behind on all the technological stuff.
All right. Well, being an architect, I figured you had everything together.
I got people to do that for me.
Oh my goodness gracious! All right, cool. Well, let's throw over to Brendon. Brendon, throw us some stuff out. You've got something together.
Yeah,
Enlighten us.
absolutely.
What do you have? Can you recommend to the kids so we can spend some money?
Well, I know you two already have this and have even done a show ranking these now, but I wanted to bring Brownsville back up because I've talked about them before, but
Yep.
since we're doing a Rock Candy Records specific episode, this is one, I never would have found the band. I never would have dived into the band if it wasn't for Rock Candy Records. So seeing this one here, knowing that Motley Crue had covered Smoking in the Boys' Room, and then seeing this, which is just Brownsville. It's not Brownsville Station. They had dropped Station by this point, kind of intrigued me. What was this? This was their final album. And I picked this up just on a whim, and it just has since turned out to be one of the best sort of boogie rock, hard rock sounding albums from 1978 when this thing came out. And I go back to this thing time and time again. Can't get enough of this thing. So it's just one of those ones that, anytime I have an opportunity to talk about this album, to put this one out there, I would tell anyone who likes Rock Candy or the stuff that Rock Candy is doing to check this one out. And like I said, I know both you guys went off and picked up a bunch of Brownsville Station stuff. Did either of you guys pick up Brownsville in the end?
That's what mine is, the Rock Candy version.
Yeah.
And it sounds really good.
Yeah, absolutely. Michael Lutz on bass. And I had known him from Ted Nugent, playing with him in '95 on the Spirit of the Wild thing. So, being younger, I come at a lot of this stuff from different direction where I've learned about some of these artists in other ways. And then when I flip this over to see, well, who's in it? What is it? Why might I care about it? And seeing that Michael Lutz is part of it. And I said, oh, geez, I know who he is. And I certainly have heard of Brownsville Station. And then that was one of the reasons that I decided to check it out. But a lot of the Rock Candy Records things are that way for me. It's albums that I recognize one of the band members or they did something. And it's the precursor to maybe the big famous thing that they did, which leads me to one of the other ones I wanted to talk about, which is the group Airborne. Yeah, you got that one in yours? So produced by Keith Olsen, definitely in the vein of Styx and Foreigner and stuff like that. But Beau Hill, who I know from producing all the glam metal albums that I love from the 80s, Rat and Winger, and I think he even did Twisted Sister stuff. And but a lot of that. And Mike Baird is on drums, who's played with Billy Idol, Eddie Money. I can't even think of who else he's played with. But again, recognizing names like those make me want to check some of this stuff out. And of course, I trust Rock Candy Records because anything I've ever gotten from them has been great. So it's never too hard of a stretch to go out. It's just a matter of where I'm going to stretch out and go. And a lot of times it's finding a named person in one of these albums that I want to go out and check it out. But
do you have Airborne?
I do not.
Oh my God. That's one of my picks.
Yeah.
I don't have all of them yet. I'm working on it.
He will soon, ladies and gentlemen. I know that Rick Labonte would email me. So where do I find that Airborne CD? Because I did like a one band, one artist thing where I played 2 songs off of it, 7-minute show, and people really dug it. But it's very AOR. I mean, there's the background vocals are killer. The production's top notch. All the songs on this record, very catchy. The thing is with this Airborne thing, how did it not take off? I don't understand. 1979, you got Styx, you've got Toto, you've got Journey out. It fits right in there. It checks those boxes. This is absolutely brilliant. But why did it not take off? Brendon, go ahead. Why did it not take off?
Well, I think it's it was late to the game, right? And this is 1979. It's either you could look at it and go, it's either late to the game or a little too early to the game.
Maybe.
But for what it was they were trying to do in that Sticks and Foreigner style vein, I don't think that it quite came across. And a lot of these bands, they only did the one album. If they had had an opportunity to do more albums, maybe they could have caught on. But when labels drop, a band after only one album, back then it wasn't like today where out of the gate, an artist is either going to be able to do well or not do well based on promotion and everything. You couldn't get the word out.
There you go, right there.
Yeah. So a lot of these bands needed time to grow, and I don't think they were given that time.
Brian says, how did it not go airborne? Good question. I don't know. But it's phenomenal.
Yeah.
Brendon and I both picked it, so it must be good. Well, maybe. I don't know.
I've heard good
Don't
things.
like that stuff.
So I'm just pointing out while you guys are talking, I'm just showing off the booklet for the Angel Live Without a Net. I mean, this is why you get this stuff. Look at this. I mean, just loaded with goodies inside.
Yeah, and usually on the, I feel stupid. I have nothing to do with Rock Candy. I just appreciate what they do for rock and roll. But always the bands are always like involved. They have like interviews of the bands. It's top.
Right. But they have press statements and stuff inside sometimes. They've got, as you said, interviews, sometimes current ones, but they've always got a history written up inside. And to me, that's the big thing. I love being able to hold it in my hand and read something about the group. And a lot of these groups don't have a lot of information online because they ran under the radar so much. Even back in the day, there's just nothing out there on it. So the fact that they dig up the information and put it together is so great.
Yeah.
But good booklets, good packaging. The backs of these things always look beautiful. I mean, you also get the synopsis. It's like before buying something, I get to read this, and this always gets my heart racing and everything. And I'm like, oh, yeah, I want to check that out.
Now, this next one, I don't know if you guys have this, but this is a Maryland-based band. They put out They put out 2 albums. First album came out in 1979. I don't know what it is with 1979, but maybe all my picks are from 1979. Oh my God, there's a couple more that are. Oh my goodness gracious. Anyway, this band, I don't know if you gentlemen have this, but this is one of the ones that I can recommend because it's kind of quirky. It's kind of Queen-like. You could compare it to the Babies. You could compare it to early Foreigner. But ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to have to go with Bass Dancer.
Yeah.
Oh,
Brendon, you got that?
They're one that I just recently discovered. So I'm very new to them.
This band sounds like nobody else. I swear to God. But if you like Queen, there's Queen elements here, but they're kind of quirky.
Very quirky. Yeah.
Very quirky, but very much. I mean, there's a lot of great guitar on here. For one, the guitar player, I can't remember the fella's name, but his guitar tone and his guitar solos, this guy should have got way more notoriety than he did. He didn't get any notoriety. But if you like hard rock, Queen, Foreigner, Babies, all right, you'll like this. I highly recommend Bass Dancer if you can get it. And a lot of these, I know we're just going off the cuff with stuff we like. I can't tell you what's in print, what's not in print at the moment, because Rock Candy, some things will go out of print, and then you look on the website in a month, and then, oh, look, Wireless is back in print or whatever. I'm just saying. So anyway, this is the one of my picks, along with, of course, Airborne, that I think I would highly recommend.
Yeah, unfortunately, that one's out of print right now on CD. I tried to get it. I found it on an LP.
Steven's got it. All right, Steven's in.
Good enough that I want to get it on CD. But yeah, it's pretty high priced right now. So have to keep checking back.
Ladies and gentlemen, Anthony Ferrara seems to be stuck in this UK Eddie Jobson thing. I don't think there was never a Rock Candy release of UK. I just want to let everybody know. I know he's trying to get everybody worked up on Eddie Jobson, but that's
what
okay.
he does.
That's what he does. Anyway, Pete, what else? You got something else?
How about the Legs Diamond catalog, folks?
Yeah.
Got the whole damn
I
thing.
did the bundle, yes, indeed, because I had 3 of these already, but I was like, they got like 6 or 7 bonus tracks on all of them. So yes, I got like the first 3 and all the others. I was like, what the fuck, might as well, right? So yeah, good stuff.
And what's your thoughts? How, I mean, Legs Die. I've got a couple of those. I don't have the entire.
Well, the first 3
catalog.
albums are great, really, really good. I mean, it's like late 70s, early 80s kind of. I don't know if I quite call it metal, but they're like Deep Purple on steroids, like a little bit.
Oh, here we go.
Really, really good stuff. The later stuff is a little more commercial, but it's still pretty cool. They pumped out a couple of Vicious Rumors. If you love 80s traditional heavy metal, man, Vicious Rumors are great. I haven't listened to these yet, but I'm looking forward to it. Harlequin, Canadian band, like a AOR melodic rock band.
Very good
stuff. A lot
stuff.
of people speak very highly of them, so I figured let me go check it out. So yeah. Did we talk about Morningstar?
I was just thinking Morningstar.
Yeah,
I don't know why I was thinking it, but I was thinking it and I was looking for it.
Really good. Kind of if you like Styx, Star Castle type of stuff. Maybe
that debut album, I will say, is absolutely killer.
Oh yeah, it's really good. It's really good. And you and I did a whole show
Star
on
Castle.
Roadmaster. Oh, that's right. They did the Star Castle ones too. Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys have the waste. You have the Wasted.
No, but actually, no, I do have that one. Yes. That's because I bought that twice because it came out remastered. I was like, yeah,
that's good.
That's a great album, by the way.
That is a great album. If you have not heard this,
I saw them on that tour. Man, it was Ozzy, Motley Crue, and Wasted. Brendan Gary. I bet you Gary Joyce was at that show.
Gary Joyce is at every show.
Gary and I were probably at all the same shows back in the early mid '80s because I used to go to Jersey all the time to see concerts, and I know Gary went to the Byrne Arena all the time. Lynn, did you ever go to Brendan Byrne Arena? I know you're a couple years younger than me. I'm sure you did at some point, but yeah.
You guys know Trigger?
Oh yeah, that's great.
So.
Oh, we talking Trigger? God, Brendon, we are on the same. This is my other pick.
Recorded in 1979, but shelved, and it just came out on Bada Bing Records. So what was their one and only album, the one-hit wonders Trigger, finally 46 years on, have their second album recorded only 1 year after this. So really good stuff. But those people that don't know this one here, great glam rock style stuff in the vein of like Slade, Noddy Holder, that sort of gravelly hard rock style vocal that he would do over it. It's fantastic stuff. Signed to Casablanca. And
Gene Simmons signed him, or he discovered him.
Right, exactly. So similar in some of their styling to what like Angel did when they got a little bit more of sort of poppy that they did after the very progressive debut album. But then after that, Trigger was kind of in line with it. Highly recommend them.
They used to play here in the Hudson Valley all the time.
Yeah, they're started in New York and then like settled down based out of Jersey.
But the production on here, again, we're talking about, what is it, 78?
78.
Yeah.
We're talking, well, it's probably on Casablanca.
Yeah.
They probably didn't get any push from them. You know, they probably did Gene a favor. Well, sign this band and we'll take you out on tour or whatever, but I don't know.
Yeah.
But Baby Don't Cry is great. Gee, many Christmas. I think that's almost like pure power pop. But all the production, the songs, these guys are really good. The vocals are great. And I really can't think of them sounding like anybody else at the time, but it just kills me that this band never took off, you know?
I mean, we could say that about most of these bands, right?
Yeah.
I know, but you know, people always say, Grant, why aren't you so much into new stuff? Well, I'm so busy trying to discover all this old stuff because I love this, like an archaeological find, to find something that came out in 1978 that you had never heard after all these years. And you listen to it and you're going, you know, and the skies part, the water parts, you have an outer body experience.
Yeah.
I'm all about it. That Trigger record, I heard this and I just went, where have you been all my life? I swear to God. Face Dancer, I love it. Airborne, but you know what my number one pick will be because everyone knows. I'll get there. Anyway, Brendon, give us something.
All right.
What time is it?
Frank
all right, we're good.
Juggernaut. I think this was his first solo album,
Yep.
from guitarist from Mahogany Rush. I'd never really gotten into Mahogany Rush, a little too bluesy for me in some parts, but this one here, I know. I heard this one here and it just bowled me over. And this was like what you were saying, Grant, from hearing this one, it was like, how have I never gotten into this artist? And of course, I went back from here and I did get into all of the other stuff from Mahogany Rush and the other solo albums that he did going forward on this. But the heaviness of this, the powerfulness of this, it just really blew me away. And again, if it hadn't been on Rock Candy, I probably would have glazed over it. But I said, well, if they're doing it, and I've certainly heard about the name, maybe it's time I give it a shot. So I gave this one a shot, and then I slowly bought another one and another one and another one. I think they reissued 4 of them, so I picked all of them up, including.
I was just joking with Grant before we started today. I've had all those Frank Marino albums on CD for forever. I have like the old versions of them. I saw they had the bundle pack of the 4 that you just got, and I was like, I don't really need to get this or these, and I'm like, screw it, I'm going to get it anyway, right? Because the old CDs that I have, they sound like shit, and like, the booklets are terrible. So I was like, you know what, I'm just going to do it. So they haven't come in yet, but so I've got those 4 that I'll need to get rid of. Lynn, you want those too? I'll give you those as well.
There you go. Lynn's going to make out today.
She's going to have a stack of stuff. Yeah.
Well, Rock Candy Records is one of those ones that when they say they remaster it, they really have remastered it. There's other labels that'll claim that, and I don't know if they really do or they don't do a remastering because it doesn't sound enough difference to me. But on the ones that I've compared for Rock Candy, it's a night and day difference sometimes.
Some people don't like their remastering, though. I've read a lot of people, especially like real audiophiles, they say they're too loud, they're too compressed. I
know something about this.
I don't have an issue with that.
I haven't either. But then I'm basing it off of a lot of the early CDs. I mean, when they did the Rat reissues, they sounded way better. And Winger, and again, a lot of those late 80s, early 90s glam metal bands, when they got, this is the only way they've gotten a remaster. I mean, it's mind-boggling that the own label, Atlantic Records, didn't want to reissue and put out remastered copies of those things, that it takes a reissue label like Rock Candy to do it. But, it sounds great. Speaking of some glam metal, I'll throw in a group called Melidian. I don't know if anyone's heard.
I've seen that, but I haven't heard it.
If you love glam metal, you've got to check this out. I didn't know anything about it. The name, nothing. It was just came out in 1989. Looked at the back cover. I saw those guys. I said, all right, I'm going to take a chance on it. Vocals in here are like Brad Sincel from TKO and War Babies. So he's got that sort of gravelly vocals over a melodic style, glam rock sound. But this is one of those albums, start to finish, blew my mind. Everyone that I've recommended it to that loves glam metal stuff says the same thing about it. How this group never took off is another mystery. But yeah, for all you glam metal fans out there, check this one out. Chris Cade was the vocalist. And as far as I know, never did anything before or after, but absolutely great, amazing stuff, 1989.
Well, Damien brings up the whole remastering thing. Everything's brick walled pretty much anymore. Back in the 80s, you had a lot of the 80s CDs were they just took the tapes, they transferred them over. Yeah, you can add. A lot of people used to bitch and complain about the Led Zeppelin, the first batch of Led Zeppelin CDs, which that's what I have because they're not really futzed with. And yeah, maybe they're a little low in volume, but you could turn up, you have a volume knob. I like the way those sound because they sound very natural. It's just like they took the tapes and they just transferred them over. Everybody has a different ear to stuff. But the thing is, if you follow Steve Hoffman's site, there's a lot of conversations over there about the Rock Candy stuff. A lot of people over there are not fans of the John Astley mastering because a lot of his stuff's kind of bright, kind of really brick walled. Now, the engineer that I like is Andy Pierce. So Andy Pierce also does a lot of stuff for esoteric. If you bought any esoteric stuff, he's probably mastered it. And the stuff that he does, I love. It's very warm sounding. It's not really. Some people have complained it's kind of brick wall, but I haven't really found that. Maybe I'm listening to the wrong thing. But he does stuff for Rock Candy too. I can't throw something up right here, but John Astley tends to do a lot of it, and it's kind of hit and miss. But the thing is, I kind of look over it because maybe some of this is a little loud. But where else am I going to get some of these like Wireless? This is another one. You guys heard this?
Yeah.
Phenomenal Canadian band.
Mhm.
The second album Geddy Lee produced.
Right.
This is the first one.
That's what drew me into it. When I heard that he produced it, I said, all right, I got to check out why it is that Geddy liked them.
This is Andy Pierce. He did this one. This sounds wonderful, but it's nice and warm. It's full. It's not jacked up. I don't know. I like it. But
So I just looked at the love-hate one, which
Yeah.
is Wasted in America, and John Astley did this. So
Yeah.
I could probably go through all of them while we're chit-chatting, but I bet you there's
Well,
probably,
he does most of them,
yeah, exactly.
but that's fine. Like his work on here, on the Barry CD, I don't mind this at all. I think this sounds really good.
It sounds great. Yeah.
Now, I don't know if it has something to do with source tapes. We're not privy to that stuff. I'm really just looking to this as just checking out these bands that you never get a chance to hear, you know? And we have to thank like Wounded Bird. You have to thank Wounded Bird.
Oh, yeah.
You got to thank Bad Reputation out of France. They do a similar kind of thing. Rock Candy. We don't really have. It used to be Rhino Records, ladies and gentlemen, that used to have reissue campaigns and would put out stuff. And we don't really have Rhino anymore. After they got absorbed, they weren't a reissue label anymore. Now they just reissue. They do reissue stuff, but they used to be kind of had a niche kind of thing, and it's not what it is. But these European companies are doing fabulous work.
Mhm.
And Pete and I were talking earlier how he's got an order in right now. He hasn't gotten it yet, but you can order this stuff from Rock Candy. It gets here in a week.
Mhm.
You can order it directly from them.
It's cheaper to order from them than it is to go online and order through like Amazon.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
It is. So there you go. A little tip, ladies and gentlemen. Plus, what they have in print at the time. But let me, I can
There's one more
recommend.
thing I do want to mention. If you're ordering direct from Rock
Go
Candy,
ahead.
you need to figure out the order process. So when you're on their website and you click add to cart, it doesn't they don't physically have a cart on the Rock Candy website. It will take you to PayPal, and you will it'll open up a separate browser tab, and that's where your cart will be. It'll be in PayPal, not actually on the Rock Candy website. It threw me off initially because the first time I ordered from them, I would click on add to cart, and then there's no cart. You can't find anything. But then I didn't notice there's another browser tab opened up. So as you go through, it'll just keep adding to your PayPal total. And that's how that works. It's very strange. I've never seen anything else like it, but it works. So
Landon's got something. He said early on, Rock Candy took a shot and reissued Money's first record, First Investment.
Yeah.
I don't have that. Brendon probably has it. Well, thoughts on that one, Brendon? I haven't heard it.
This is great.
You know that one?
I think this is like, Chris Sangries produced this. So, having worked with Y&T, Gary Moore, artists like those,
Yep.
this is, I believe, in the vein of like new wave of British heavy metal style sounding stuff. Not as heavy as some of those artists, but yeah, really good stuff. Again, I just took a chance on it because I saw who produced it, and it's on Rock Candy, and it comes from, let's look at the year, 1979 Goal Records. So on Judas Priest's label at the time. So I just look at a lot of those things and I go, oh yeah, okay, it's all fitting like a puzzle into that era of stuff. I want to check something else that was done by those people on that label at that time. And yeah, that's good. I think it's the only album they made.
Yeah, I don't have that one. I don't think it's in print either, but you probably can find it on Discogs or eBay or something.
Yeah.
Real quick before we go on, I do want to thank everybody in the chat for tuning in. We've got 128 people watching.
All right.
We do appreciate it. Like I said, we're just here talking music, and all of our channels. The only reason we're doing this is to turn you on to stuff. That's it. Come on. These two gentlemen here are top notch. They're slumming it over here in the warehouse, ladies and gentlemen.
No.
But we're here talking music, and hopefully we can get you to spend some money and support these labels and stuff, because we'd love physical media here. So
Yeah, and
what
we're
we're
not
talking
making
about.
anything from Rock Candy. In fact, I
No.
reached out to Rock Candy to try to do promotion for them, and they said they don't do that sort of stuff. So I don't know about you guys, but I've not been able to get on some sort of partnership deal or whatever. I would
No,
certainly,
I've invited them on SOT and they haven't.
yeah.
It's like,
But I mean, I would love to do it just because of how great the label is, and I'm glad we're able to do this type of a show here to help promote them. Regardless, sounds like they don't need any promotion. One I wanted to point out was the group Target. You guys know about them? Jimmy
Uh,
Jameson, go on to the band Survivor, did these 2 albums here. Um, really great stuff. Jimmy Jameson also did. Was he in Cobra? I think he was
no.
in a group called Cobra too.
did a lot of things. Yeah, I don't
Yeah,
remember.
a couple things. But anyways, yeah, no, these 2 are really good. If you like Survivor, and of course, if you want the entire Survivor catalog, it's all available too on
Yeah, I've got the one. I've
not,
got a couple of those.
I don't know about you guys, and this is what the album Caught in the Act, I think is Survivor's best album. It's my absolute
It's a good one,
favorite.
yeah.
And yet a lot of people don't like this. They're going to want Vital Signs or something like that, or of course Eye of the Tiger, which I don't think Eye of the Tiger is that great. I love the song. I like the one song, but I don't think the rest of the album sounds as great as what Survivor is. But this album here, for anyone that's not a Survivor fan or hasn't really checked them out, I think this is the album. Caught in the Game, Jackie Don't Go, Never Stop Loving You. Just, man.
There you go. Memphis Lonnie confirms that he sang in Cobra. All right, that's why we're here. We're like a community. This is great.
That's right.
Keep
Everyone
it
helps
interactive,
everyone out.
people.
They did. I will say they did a really nice job on the Survivor catalog.
Yeah, they did.
It's great that most of that catalog is on Rock Candy, which is cool, except for the later stuff.
Yeah, definitely needed a remaster from what were they on, Volcano?
Something like that.
Yeah.
Volcano. Yeah, I don't have all mine are all Rock Candy ones.
Mm-hmm.
The whole Survivor catalog is top notch, in my opinion.
Yeah, Steve knows his stuff.
Stevenson, Jimmy James solo stuff is real good. I have not heard any of his solo stuff.
Yeah, they just dug into his archives, putting out 2 unreleased shelved albums. One called Rock Hard in like 1990 that never came out, and then a country album from, I don't know, maybe 10 years back that he recorded. Didn't do it. They chose not to release it. So there's a couple cool archival releases that have just recently come to light.
Oh, Aldo Nova.
Yeah, those Autograph and Helix are going to be in my next order.
Yeah, I've got the
I've already
Helix
got the next order planned. How sad is that, right? Yeah, it's.
What about Aldo Nova Twitch?
Yeah,
which
that's a pretty good
I don't like this record, but I've got it.
I love the debut, and I have the other ones just to complete the collection, but they don't rock as hard as the debut.
No, not as the
With
debut.
Subject is great.
Yeah.
Pete, you like Subject?
Okay.
All right. Well, I like it. A lot of people, we did a show, like an Aldo Nova show, like a year and a half ago. And
What
people
about
were raving about Subject as that being their favorite Aldo Nova album.
I got into him with Blood on the Bricks, the Bon Jovi produced one that he co-wrote everything on. That one was hard rock.
Yeah.
Oh, I see a Zahn mention in the chat. There we go.
Oh, there you go.
I got Zahn.
Yeah.
I don't know if
I rebought both of those now that they're available as standalone because I had a 2-for-1.
Yeah, that's what I have. I have the double disc set. Yeah.
Yeah. And I know I've talked about this one on either my channel or somebody else's channel, but White Sister, I think, is totally worth mentioning.
Yeah.
These guys would go on to play in a glam metal group called Tattoo Rodeo, not punk rock, but this stuff here in that punk rock vein, if you like Styx and other artists of that era. White Sister, absolutely fantastic. And Grant, I saw you bringing up Spies, and I was going to bring it up at some point, but 2 guys formerly from Foreigner, bass player and keyboard player, Ed Gagliari, and who's the other guy?
It was Ed and oh shoot, it was Ed and Al Greenwood.
Al Greenwood, yeah, on keyboard. So, this stuff is fantastic.
Andy Pierce mastered this one. He probably did the other one too.
I actually like the second album better than the debut. Yeah, I think the debut probably gets
You
more.
guys are killing me. I need to get those two now and that White Sister.
Yeah, it's working. Here's the.
My next order is going to be
All right,
huge.
here you go. Because we mentioned Zahn. Here's the Zahn.
Yeah.
These are fabulous. This
Oh,
is
yeah, great.
very proggy.
Especially that first album. Yeah.
The first album. This is not quite as proggy, but this is also really good. The thing about the Zahn records, they're really good songwriters, and
Yeah.
Zahn never really sounded like anybody else.
Yeah.
This is Andy Pierce, so maybe there's a lot more Andy Pierce.
The Down to
after
Earth one, I
ones.
think, is fantastic. I think
Now
it's
this
way
new
better
one,
than Astral Projector.
this came out in 2024. This is a new release, pretty
Yeah.
much. This was mastered by Tony Dixon, and I don't know his work. Whatever, I think this sounds fine. I highly recommend all the Zahns. Well, there's only a couple. The Zahn catalog.
You guys ever heard of Wiggy Bits?
No.
So it's a weird one. I just, again, taking a chance on it. You know, sometimes in used record stores, I'll see these for a few bucks and just grab them. Pepe Castro from Blues Magoos. Again, I don't recognize any of the names of the people and who they were, but, you know, they come from different places. But just some great hard rock stuff that has a weird name, a weird, you know, guys coming from different places, and yet the stuff is fantastic. This is just one of those ones that really piqued my interest upon getting it.
All right, I got another one.
Came out on Sony Records at the time.
Yeah.
Recorded at the record plant in New York City. Didn't do anything though. They were Wiggy Bits. I think, you know, sometimes it's the name. You know,
that name is pretty awful.
Yeah, right. The album cover, I mean, is pretty awful, right? So you can look at some of these and go, yeah, there's a reason why it didn't catch on.
And then there's those two Balance. Yeah, they're both great. Really great AOR, melodic rock, awesome stuff. Balance is terrific.
All right, how about this? You guys familiar with Mayday?
Yeah.
Of course he is. God, I can't throw anything out in front of Brendon. He just already has it. Anyway, they were like, what year was this? This was like early 80s. This was like 82. So this band was basically, they were a Chicago-based band. They relocated to New York City in the mid to late 70s. They played like a lot of the New York underground, Manhattan. They played CBGBs and stuff like that. But this is what I would call a good combination of AOR and some power pop. They put out 2 records. Both records are phenomenal, but they didn't take off. The remastering on here sounds great. This one was done by John Astley, and I think it sounds good. You just kind of have to, I mean, if you're concerned about the mastering on some of these, you just kind of have to go out and test drive it and see if you like it or not. But this, I can highly recommend. This is one of the CDs that I really was turned on to and thought it was great. Now, I'm thinking it probably didn't really take off because, well,
yeah,
that album cover is questionable.
It's awful. Yeah.
It's awful.
Well,
but whatever. Anyway, I like that one.
If people are checking out these artists via streaming services, 9 times out of 10, what is up on the streaming service is not the Rock Candy Records one. They're not the ones that have it up. Somebody else's licensed version is up there. So, you know, the online version of these might be sounding bad, right? And you really got to hear the real thing to know.
The thing is, we like physical media. You have a lot more control of what you have. If there's multiple releases and you are concerned about the way something sounds, you can go and find the one you like.
Yeah.
Physical, when you listen to Spotify, you're force-fed one version only, and you don't really have that freedom. I know this is all geeky. Can we get this? Can this talk get any more geekier? I doubt it.
Well, hey, what's even worse than that? No, Spotify does it, but I know that Apple does it where sometimes, especially like a greatest hits, isn't actually all the mastering that was the greatest hits. They will only have the upload from the individual albums. And so when you're listening to it, the sound quality varies on it going up and down. And that really bugs the heck out of me on some of this stuff, that you're not actually getting the version that was released through that album.
Mm.
And so two different masterings might be getting used in what you're hearing. So I don't know. I don't think you can trust anything on streaming. You listen to it and see if you like the music, and then get the real thing and listen to it for sonic quality that way, but not checking sonic quality over streaming.
Does anybody have the Dokken Beast from the East with all the tracks?
No.
I didn't realize that they had released it with all the tracks.
Yeah.
I'll be darned. See,
Yeah, how many were left off the
One
original
extra
CD
track.
version?
It's not
I don't
all
know.
tracks. It's like one extra track.
All right, so it was one track.
It's one extra track.
All right. Well,
Do you guys know The Strand?
I've seen it on the site. I haven't heard it.
Jeff Porcaro from Toto produced it. Very much in the vein of Toto, the style that's on here, the sort of AOR melodic rock sounding stuff. Really great. Yeah, if you're a fan of Toto, would highly recommend it. This came out in 1980 on Island Records. The same story as Toto. All the guys had worked recording for different artists and came together and finally decided to put out their own, do their own thing together. And I think this was the only album that they did, but really good stuff.
I'll have to check it out.
Yeah.
Oh, God, here we go. It keeps continuing. Pete, you got anything? Go ahead. I have that in my cart.
It's
I don't
really
have
good. One and done band. It's kind of Styx, early REO, that sort of thing. I think if you like those bands, you'll dig this. Very, very cool stuff. Here's a good one for all you guitar player fans out there. Randy Hanson's original debut album.
Cool.
Very much like a Jimi Hendrix style guitar player. In fact, he's made a career on doing like Jimi Hendrix covers and Jimi Hendrix shows and all that kind of stuff. And he also, for those of you who are fans of Apocalypse Now, that kind of weird psychedelic scene late in the movie where they're at that one place going down the river and everybody's tripping on acid and whatnot. And you hear all this kind of Jimi Hendrix-y guitar playing stuff going on in the background. That was Randy Hanson playing all that. So yeah, there's that. Outlaws fans, Freddie Salem and the Wildcats.
Yeah,
I got that because of you. And I
welcome.
played it.
Yes,
and it's great.
It's really good. Yeah,
it's really good.
Yeah,
they've done some Outlaws.
Yep, exactly. Yeah, those are great. That live album is killer.
Yeah, I'd like to see some more of their stuff.
Freddie was from Akron, Ohio. Once I got it, I kind of did some research on him, and I had no idea he was from Akron.
Not a Southern guy. Yep.
Not a Southern guy.
No, not at
that
all.
Is a CD worth getting. 100%.
Very underrated. I never even knew it existed till like when he passed away recently, and I was doing some research and they were talking about this. I was like, wow, I never knew that was out there. And then I found that was on Rock Candy. I'm like, okay, well, now's the time to get it.
I think it came out on Elektra. I think it got original release on
Elektra. It was on a major label, yeah.
And that was like the only record that he put out on a major label.
That's it.
A solo record.
Yeah.
Highly recommend it. Highly recommend it.
Anyway, released on Sony in 1982. So that was right at the, I would say just shortly after Ghost Riders, the album from the Outlaws, which was their kind of like one of their biggest albums. But yeah, it's great band, really good album. And I got this first time ever on CD, Kerry Livgren's first solo album with, of course, a guy named Ronnie James Dio on a couple tracks. Very cool.
That's an interesting record.
It is.
Remember when I first heard it, I'm going, it's kind of not what I expected, but
no,
it works.
It's not really Kansas at all.
It's not. Ladies and gentlemen, we're not in Kansas anymore. But yeah, that's
about because I know you and I did a ranking show. Did we talk about Roadmaster at all yet?
Not
we
yet.
Haven't yet.
No.
Yeah, that was stuff we talked about on the What Is It show.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Roadmaster.
Highly recommend the Roadmaster stuff.
Yeah.
Especially like those first two records, I think.
Yeah.
Well, I think Pete liked that third album quite a bit.
I do.
I remember.
Yeah.
All those Roadmaster ones, go ahead, run to them, ladies and gentlemen. Get them while you can get them. And of course, I do want to mention this. This is my favorite of them all. Everyone knows I'm going to say this. Freaking Aviary, ladies and gentlemen. 1979. This is just, I love this. I can listen to this album over and over again. All you have to do, I've done shows and shows on Aviary on my channel. I don't have to go into it. You knew this was going to be my number one. I love freaking aviary. How did I miss this?
That's because that's not listed on their website anymore. So that must be one of those.
Oh, it's one of it's
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
airborne, aviary.
Yeah.
Every time we talk about all this stuff, it always sells out.
Yeah.
We did that show on the hunt and Dillinger. You couldn't get any.
There were scraps
Dillingers.
out there you can get, and then all of a sudden we did the show and there was nothing left. People were like, "I can't get those anywhere." Like, you and I probably grabbed the last of them, right? For the most
Yeah,
part.
well, we knew we were going to do it, so we had to. A lot of these, when we do these shows, I have to study for these shows. Some of these bands, like, well, Roadmaster. Pete brought up Roadmaster. I said, sure, I'm down for Roadmaster. I've got to study. Give me a month and we'll do it. But that's what I like to do. I like to go in cold, study these bands. Here's something new.
Mhm.
But Roadmaster, another one. It's freaking great.
Is there any bonus shit on that aviary, or is it just the straight album?
No, it's straight.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I have it. I have the
I
original
know.
CD issue of it. It's not like I need it, but I'm looking at it. That's got the original cover on the front. It's
I
It
know,
seems like
Pete. I know.
It's only recent that they've started doing bonus content
yeah.
to some of these. Most of the stuff was straight reissues originally.
Mike M brings up Nantucket. That was like on Wounded Bird.
I had
Like we
I
did a show on Nantucket.
You did.
But get it while you can get, well, it's all
Yeah.
out of print.
Yeah, you can't get it either on Wounded Bird. I don't know. Did Rock Candy ever do it? Because I only know it from
No,
Wounded
just
Bird.
Wounded Bird, I think, Pete, right?
Yeah. Doesn't mean they won't, but
You guys both like Trillion?
I love it.
Oh,
This
yeah.
is my
Oh.
absolute favorite out of everything I've ever gotten from Rock Candy. This, I didn't know what to expect with it. It just blew me away right from the get-go. It's the most pop rock sounding,
Yeah.
group that
Pomp.
every track should have been a hit. Just over the top. I mean, unfortunately, I think it's partly because the second album really doesn't sound anything like this, the debut.
No, but I like the second album
It
too,
is
though.
good. Yeah.
It's so mellow and nowhere near
No.
as bombastic as this. I don't know. I was hugely disappointed. I bought this and was in love with it. Went and bought this and thought it was an entirely different.
I mean, the debut is amazing. I think the second album is fun for what it is, but yeah, that first album is.
Well, they probably the first one came out what 70. I keep wanting to say 79, like 80 or
78
something.
79, something like that. Yeah.
78.
Yeah.
78.
Yeah,
And the other one, did that come out in 8? One of those are, I think,
probably
came out in
80.
80.
Yeah, 1980 for this one, but this
Things
one
are
has
changing,
Fergie Fredrickson, who sang for Toto,
Toto, yeah.
right?
Yeah,
And
it's
also
great.
Solo.
It's like isn't Prairie Prince on drums on that one, I believe. From the Tubes. I
No,
thought
we've got Patrick Leonard though on piano.
Jay
but
just said that Trillion featured Pat Leonard, who would do Toy Matinee with Kevin Gilbert.
That's right. Yeah, there you go. That was the other thing. So see, when I bought this, it was because of Pat Leonard, because Fergie Fredrickson's name in here is Dennis, and I didn't pick up on it until I was reading inside it and found out, oh, that's his real name, and then found out that he was the guy from Toto. But sometimes these guys were under different names when they recorded in these other projects.
Well, Logan, that's why the label's called Rock Candy. Young Logan, so influential.
Big Montrose fan.
Big mantra. Welcome to the Wrecking Ball, Grace Slick. I don't think that ever came out.
I don't
Well, anyway,
think so.
where are we at? We're at
It came out on the
55
VGO.
minutes in. I guess we could wrap this dog. We've only skimmed the surface on these. Go ahead. Go
Stone
ahead, gentlemen.
Fury.
Keep going.
This has
Someone asked at the beginning. All right, go ahead, Brent. I'll get right after you.
well, I was going to say, so Lenny Wolf, who would go on to Kingdom Come, this was his band before that, and Bruce Gowdy on guitar, who would go on to Unruly Child, and I think amongst other things too. But those two guys having Stone Fury. But those people that like Kingdom Come, if you want more of that style stuff, this, which I think is their 1984 debut album, absolutely killer. Opening track, Breaking Down the Walls, I Hate to Sleep Alone. I mean, this thing, so good.
Yeah, I don't have that.
Oh, get it.
Yeah, well, I will soon, Brendan. Bastard. All right, Pete, what you got?
A couple folks asked for this right at the beginning, and it was at the bottom of one of my stacks. So Kick-Axe. Killer
Yeah,
metal.
I've got that.
So good. And I think the last one I have that I haven't shown is Lion.
Oh
Got
yeah,
that too.
absolutely.
Mr. Doug Aldrich on lead guitar, right? Of course,
Yeah,
played with Dio and
and
White.
Cal Swan on vocals, who was from Bad Moon Rising which was the band after Lion. So those two, both
Yeah.
Doug Aldrich and him, did that. But you guys know Touch?
Got that.
Airwalk
Yes, I'm
Rock?
getting ready to put a one artist, one band show up of Touch.
No, not one. They have a second
Well,
album.
no. Well, that's just the. I don't.
Name of
Don't
the
You don't
listen to
count
the
it
title. Huh?
because it came in 2021. It still has Mark Mangold on keyboard. So
Now the band. Wait a minute. Am I getting that confused with something else?
I don't
There's
know.
a band. All right. Pete probably knows this story. You remember when Utopia did the Network album?
Yep.
And there was a time. Well, Brendon, you may know this. I don't know how big. You're a big Todd fan, aren't you? Of
Nope.
course he is. You're not. Okay. Well.
No, he drives
All
me
right.
nutty.
There's a band. I think. Who's in Touch? Show me the back of it. I can't remember.
Touch
There's so many
was
different
Mark,
bands.
was Mark Mangold on keyboards. He's the famous one. But
Yeah. Is Doug Howard in that band?
I'm looking real quick to see if I can find their names.
God, I can't remember. I think Doug Howard's in that band.
Yes, Doug Howard is on
Okay.
bass.
Doug Howard, Pete. Okay, we'll go back in time. The Network album, Utopia. Do you remember that era when Chasm Sultan, he quit Utopia and he was going to do a solo album? Doug Howard co-wrote a couple of tracks. They brought Doug in to replace Chasm. And he was in Touch. So that's his claim to fame, but he was only in Utopia briefly, and then Chasm came back. So if you look at the Network album, you'll see Doug Howard sharing. He's actually on it. I think he's playing on the songwriting credits. So that's his claim to fame, was he was in Utopia briefly. No one knows that. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. This is why you come to the warehouse.
Yep.
Learn about Utopia references. But Doug Howard. But that Touch album, highly recommend it. Highly recommend it if you haven't seen. Oh, here
1994.
I got those too.
Got those with Karen Lawrence from LA Jets.
Mm-hmm.
Her band before this, or the Jets, I think it was just called the Jets. But
Yeah.
Great hard rock in the vein of course, Heart, but also like Aerosmith style stuff. Female fronted, great rock and roll.
Yeah. All right, I guess we can wrap this up. I only wanted to go in an hour. These gentlemen are busy. We could be talking.
By show of hands in the chat, how many people are going to the Rock Candy website after they get off the air here?
Well, yeah, look, Classic Rock Junkie's already there.
There you
Yeah, I
go.
was gonna say, they've already been hitting it up while we're talking. They're going to crash the website.
Rock Candies are like, why do we get all these damn orders on Saturday? What's going on, man? It's like, well,
yeah, we're trying to change the world one track at a time.
Yeah.
That's right.
Chasm was in Meatloaf. Yeah, he was playing bass in Meatloaf after Utopia folded. But Chasm is just so much talent. Gee, many Christmas. I would also highly recommend his solo album that came out a couple years ago. Check it out. Great stuff. Anyway, let's wrap this dog up. We could do another show. We could talk another hour on this. But, I don't want to just totally shoot it now. Let's just end this.
Let's
Gentlemen, Pete, what do you have coming up on the show? If you haven't checked out Pete's channel, of course, he's streaming on his channel as well.
Yep.
Please give some love to Sea Tranquility. Pete, what's coming up on Sea Tranquility?
Let's see. So it's 11 o'clock now. So in 3 hours, we've got the UK connection coming up on Sea Tranquility. We'll be talking about our each of us, Simon, Stephen, and myself, will be talking about our 3 favorite power metal albums from 2008. So if you're into power metal, come on over to Sea Tranquility at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And tomorrow, 2 Ranking the Album shows. We've got, speaking of Airborne, Craig Kaminsky's doing a Ranking the Albums of Airborne. And I will be doing a Ranking the Album show of Ultimate Spinach. Very cool late 60s psychedelic rock band from the Boston area. So the 2 shows coming up tomorrow. So
that's a different Airborne. Let's make sure we're.
Yeah. Yes. Okay. Yeah. This is the one from Australia. The one from Australia is the one that we're doing on
Not this one.
No,
not this one.
Okay. I was about to ask, how do you rank only one album?
Yeah, only one album. Yeah. So no, it's the other Airborne. Sorry. So that's coming up tomorrow. So Ultimate Spinach and Airborne.
We could do another show if these gentlemen want to talk more, but we could do like a Wounded Bird show. God knows what we could do. I like just talking about CD reissues and stuff like that because, normally we're always so focused on just like a band or something, but, it's kind of fun to talk about physical media. All right,
We didn't talk
Brendon.
about Y&T today, but that's another one that they've done.
Zebra.
I was hoping someone would. Do you have that, Brendan? Yet the
Did
new
you get
one?
the new ones in? I ordered. My order hasn't come in yet with the two
Yeah,
first albums.
I've got them, but they're in the room because they're still out being listened to.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm
he's already
waiting.
got them.
I'm still waiting.
I'm still waiting too. Damn it! All right, Brendan, what's coming up on your channel, real quick?
All right, well, I finally got the new Styx album, Circling from Above, in. So I did my review of that. That's going up tomorrow. And then, of course, now that they got a brand new album out, I'm going to do a ranking of the Styx albums and pop that one in. So that'll go up probably the day after. But yeah.
All right.
Oh, and the Doobies. Yeah, great one.
And
kinds
hold
of
on,
stuff.
wait. There's more. New Little Feet.
Yeah.
Jesus.
And I'm also doing a review of the new Trigger album. So check that one out too if you're
The new
interested.
old Trigger album.
The new old Trigger, the 46-year-old album.
And did you get that off Bandcamp?
No, I Bada Bing Records. I contacted them. They sent it to me to be able to do the review.
Dang. People, you guys amaze me every day. All right, cool. Damien, I got the new Y&T reissues today. Have you listened to them yet? We got to wrap this thing up. We'll do another show. We'll get these gentlemen back. Come on, we can't
stop talking physical media, folks.
I know. I love this kind of stuff. I could talk this all day. Well, I don't have any outlet. Do you know? Remember back in the day where you could go to a record? Well, Brendon still does it.
Yeah.
But I mean, you know what I mean. Back in the day when you had record stores, people would hang out. You'd go and talk music. That's what this has become. I feel that the Warehouse, Sea of Tranquility, Brendan's channel, we can just rap music.
Just talk music, yeah.
It's great. It's a great outlet. All right. Tomorrow, 7 p.m. listening party for Brian Wilson Beach Boys. I'm doing 2 hours of that tribute. The listening parties will open up with guests in July. I'm booking some people. I got George lined up. Need to get now, Brendon. I've already asked you about that.
Yeah, I'm going to be doing one on.
You want to do? Can you stay up that late?
Yeah. No, I said I'll do one with you. I want to do it all on like punk rock.
Shit, I'm down for that. All right, I'll be in contact with that, and I got Pete lined up. I'm lining people up. So I think I also have. Did I already get? I can't remember. Let's wrap this dog up. All right, everybody. Thanks for doing this. Turning on the Contrarians. I think we might be live on Wednesday. I don't know. I'm doing another live show. I can't keep track. Let's just wrap it up, gentlemen. Thanks for doing this. If you want these guys back, let us know. We can do more. We can talk about more music, more CD releases. And all right, everybody, have a good day, and we'll talk to everybody later.
Take care, everybody.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.